everyone. My name is Uciel Reaño, and I want to begin talking about something that happened like a month ago and that really touched my heart. Here in this area, Juarez, Mexico, El Paso, Texas, on TV there was a very famous or well known lawyer, and he used to advertise his own law office. He used to say that he was the strong arm. So when he advertised his services on Spanish, he said El Brazo Fuerte. And he was, like the typical Texan blonde guy. He used to convey the idea that, he himself was a strong person. What happened is that this month ago he was found dead one day after he himself found his daughter dead because she committed suicide. So the little details that have been revealed after his own death are, for example, that his daughter was diagnosed with teen depression when she was 11. And a month ago, by the time she died, she was 15. So all these years she struggled with this disease, and finally she then took her own life. Sadly, she affected her own father to the point that he was found dead. The details exactly about why he died are not that clear or have not been revealed, but it talks about the dimension of the problem of depression. And sadly, this problem, this illness is growing in numbers. More and more people have been diagnosed, and is reaching people from all ages, and sadly some of them, or much more of them, and every day, are kids and teenagers. So what to do when this kind of disease knocks on your door? What would you do? Well, I can tell you about my own circumstance, my own experience, because my wife was diagnosed with this some years ago, but she didn't accept her condition, even though, all the symptoms, because typically depression was associated with loneliness, was associated with sadness, and it wasn't her case. So it was quite impossible to her to admit that this was a symptom of depression. And finally, in March of this year, she accepted her condition, and she accepted to follow professional treatment, and she's now in good hands. She has experienced a lot of improvement over her situation. And sadly, around us, there's other people who have been diagnosed with different levels of depression and anxiety. But as I mentioned before, what would you do if this knocks at your door? What will you do in behalf of your own family or relatives? Well, here are some advices I can mention. Number one, if you are the person with the symptoms, seek that professional advice. Go with a physician and follow all what he or she says you need to do. Probably you need to change a little bit of your habits in regards of your feeding habits, in regards of a little exercise, and of course the medication. But there's a hope. Even though especially teenagers say they feel they are in a deep, dark hole, there's light, there's hope, but you need to trust, and this is the second advice I will say. You need to rely on people around you. And of course, that is very difficult when the patient it's a kid or it's a teenager. Teenagers experience, dramatic changes in their lives, and when depression comes in, we as parents tend to believe that it's, well, just because they are immature, it's because they are on the go to become mature enough people, adult, or we expect weird things to happen to our kids. But when you see this loneliness that is not passing by, when you hear about suicidal thoughts, when you hear about um, people who feel they are not worth of love and care, well, then there's no other than depression, and this should be taken seriously. Why? Because things in regards of depression tend to worsen, and they can even include people taking their lives or committing suicide. But if you are the parent, you also need to be that supportive parent. And if you are part of the relatives, you are supposed to be part of that network of supportive persons around a depressed one. So that person may rely all or everything on you little by little, but if this person sees that you are worth of his or her trust, he or she will trust you, definitely. But be that kind of person they expect you to be. On the other hand, when we go and seek for the expert's consultation, if you go to a psychologist, this person, by means of therapies, will help you a lot, because sometimes it has to do with past experiences we have had. But on the other side, if you go to the psychiatric, this person may give you medication, but what may you expect from especially the first weeks taking this medication? Well, do not expect things to be like a miracle. Don't expect to heal instantly or over the passing of days. No, actually these experts say that symptoms may worsen before they actually start to disappear. But it's part of that process, because sometimes the brain, is not working well properly because of the chemicals in there, and these new drugs try to make the brain accept this adjustment, but things definitely don't improve instantly. So be patient. The recovering is on the way. But also, as I mentioned before, there's light. Even though you may feel in a deep dark hole, there's light, and you definitely will heal from that disease, and you may be the person all around you, all people around you knew and love and care. Thank you.